is just a game. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. You know, I'm not going to hopefully let it get to me like I did on Wednesday where I was getting really, really upset. A lot of people had actually said that they think that I need significant time away from my streams. And I'm like, I think it's the opposite.
I mean, of course he thinks he needs the opposite. Don't they know he has bills to pay? The internet bill, the electricity bill?
I think it's just that I need to learn to manage anger well.
My guy, you are 41 years old. If you haven't at least started learning how to manage your anger, I really have no hope that you'll ever learn. I mean, he's been a content creator for 15 years, and throughout the entire 15 years, he has never once showed any sort of emotional regulation at all. And that's typically what gets him into all of these situations anyway. He can't stop himself from having these outbursts that get him into all this shit, and we'll see a prime example of that in this very video.
And, you know, Street Fighter, when things go well with Street Fighter, that's like my outlet to feel like, wow, I put a lot of time and effort and skill into this, and I win the match, and it's super good, right? But then in Street Fighter, if I just can't get things going, it's one thing if it's one match or two. If it's like 10 matches in a row and the fucking thing will not work, it really kills me. It makes me get so frustrated because I feel like I'm wasting my time.
I said this in my last video, I'll say it again. It probably wouldn't feel like a waste of time if you put more work into being an entertaining streamer and less work into playing the game better. Because you've never played a game well. Not in the 15 years we've watched you. But he derives all of his value from how good of a video game player he is. That's what he prides himself in.
I don't like putting out content that I feel has no meaning. I'm gonna repeat that for all of you, okay? I really don't like putting out content that I feel has no meaning.
I mean, there's a ton of examples where he puts out content that has no meaning. That's such an idiotic thing to even say. Not to mention, we've never really clarified what is meaningful to this guy. He uses the word meaningful like as long as you like it, it's meaningful. But that's really not how that word works. And besides, at least one person enjoys just about everything. So there's some pretty heinous acts that have been committed in history that somebody thought was a good idea and was probably meaningful to them. So that doesn't exactly justify everything that's ever happened. But aside from that, I mean, there's clips of this guy falling asleep while streaming. During his Yakuza Ishin playthrough, he was literally falling asleep on stream. What is meaningful about that? What did anybody enjoy about that? How did that show any sort of care to the work that you're putting on the internet? That's always the first example that comes to my mind, because there's no way he could care about the content that he's making if he can't even be awake during it. Couldn't even care enough to stay awake during the dialogue. He's literally dozing off. And I want to say he was also doing this during the Oblivion playthrough, but I haven't finished the This Is How You Don't Play yet, so I can't quite say that for a fact, but I want to say I've seen clips before. So this whole meaningful spiel is just a scam that only his dents would fall for.
And that is the major difference between me and probably the vast majority of people on the internet who make content for YouTube, is that a lot of them just don't care. They just put out whatever, as long as someone watches it and they make money on it, they don't care what it is. They'll sit there taking a shit.
Yo, and how could I forget his most meaningful contribution to his content? All the scat humor. It is definitely the most meaningful part. 41-year-old man talks more about poop than anyone I've ever met, and I worked in a preschool for several years. I don't know if you've ever dealt with kids, but they've got a very childish sense of humor, and poop is right up their alley. But DSP surpasses them by a mile.
And record it. You know, they'll sit there screaming at a camera. You guys didn't have to fucking talk about it for an hour and a half. I'm honest, you guys pissed me the fuck off tonight. Anyone who just wanted to sit here derailing my chat, I'm trying to enjoy Halo Infinite. And every time I look, it's like, dancing. Shut the fuck up. This is my place of business. It's not time for you to sit here and unwind with drama shit all fucking night like you're 4-year-olds. And there was about a dozen people who did it, and I was very lenient. I didn't even ban a single person for it. All right? They'll act like an idiot.
Look, I can't get the door won't open. Oh my god. Yo, what the fucking shit? Whoa. Oh, I can't get out of there.
They'll make completely fluff garbage. They'll watch someone else's content and go,
And how many times on DSP Reacts have we seen him do exactly that? Or have literally no commentary at all? And I could go find a clip of him literally just sitting there with no commentary on a DSP Reacts. But because most people don't just clip him sitting there with nothing to say, I'd have to go and get it myself, and I'm not gonna go through those stupid videos to find clips of silence. That just seems like a waste of our time. So if you know, you know, and if you don't know, hopefully you'll just take my word for it. I've seen every react up to this point live, and I can't tell you how many times I've said out loud, is he gonna say anything? It's just too many to count.
As long as you watch it and they make money on it, they don't care. That's what they do.
And this is coming from the guy who admitted that back in the day when he got paid per view, that he posted up a bunch of videos per day as short as possible to get the maximum amount of views so that he could cash in on all that sweet, sweet YouTube money. It's just huge projection. He's so quick to say that everybody else is always just in it for the money. They don't care about what they put out. They are only in it for the money. But they don't talk about money nearly as much as him. Most of them have never admitted to gaming the system just to make more money. But he has. None of the people that he's sneak dissing right now sit there on their streams or in their videos and beg like he does. But they're all about the money, I guess. This dude's entire reality is a complete 180 from real life.
Me, I want to be putting out meaningful content for you. If I feel like I put out something that's crappy or worthless, it hurts me because I don't want to waste your time as my viewing audience. Do you understand?
Yeah, he cares so much about not wasting your time and putting out quality content, but he can't even be bothered to not snort into the microphone, to hit the mute button when he needs to burp, the built-in mute button to OBS that everyone has access to. He literally can't be bothered. Doesn't want to waste your time, but gave you 3 Mortal Kombat 1 streams of single-player content that nobody wanted to see. Doesn't want to waste your time, but literally gets up during his podcast to go throw stink bugs out of his house for 5 minutes at a time. They always say actions speak louder than words, and this dude has never put any action forth.
And I do feel like earlier this week on Wednesday, most of the time that I was playing with Aki was a waste of time because I knew what I was doing and I knew the combos and I knew what to do in the situation and I couldn't execute on it. And that's terrible. That's the worst feeling. You know, it feels like my hands were tied and I couldn't even move properly or whatever. You know what I mean?
And again, instead of compensating for that bad gameplay with a little more entertainment on his end, he just decided to complain and whine and bitch like a little baby. Which in a roundabout way was more entertaining, but only to people like you and me. His real viewers, his real fans, the dents, they don't want to see that. That's why they told him that he needs to take a break, because they don't want to see it.
So I am hoping that things are better tonight on the late stream. All right, I really hope you'll join me. We'll give it another shot. You know, we'll have to find out and go from there. So let's see what happens. 6:45 p.m. tonight. Aki returns in Street Fighter 6 for Friday Night Fights.
Yeah, I put that stream on and I basically fell asleep as soon as it started. I do live in a different time zone from DSP, so it was a little later. But yeah, I can't take it, man. Street Fighter 6 just bores me to death.
I go back to ranked and we try to do better this time. And I hope, and that'll be fun. By the way, this is absolutely hilarious. I'm just going to say this. My trolls on the internet hate the fact that I say that my content is meaningful. Do you want to know why they hate that?
Because it's a meaningless statement that you use to manipulate your audience into believing there's more value in your streams than there really is. That's why I hate it, but I'm sure you're going to tell me a different reason why I hate it.
Because they can't possibly believe that the thing that I do on the internet that they most hate.
What you do on the internet is not my most hated thing on the internet. There's a lot of heinous things being done on the internet. Yours is the thing that I dislike that I find the funniest.
Because they are losers in life is actually meaningful to some people. They can't stand it. I make meaningful content. I actually design my content to be meaningful for my audience. That's why I call it curated content.
No, bitch, you call it curated content because it makes you sound like you're not failing. It makes you sound like your small viewership numbers are on purpose. When in reality, it's just because you can't cultivate an audience because you don't have any appeal to most people. And again, that's why you have to use these weasel words and manipulate people and beg all the time. Because people who make meaningful content, who genuinely make people have an enjoyable time, an enjoyable experience that they actually appreciate, don't have to do this. They don't have to use these weasel words. They don't have to beg. They don't have to manipulate their audience into giving them money.
That's why I don't put out fluff garbage content. Deal with it, motherfuckers. You're all losers. Every one of you out there that feels, oh, you feel like pain when I say meaningful content. That's why I'm different from you, because I actually do positive things that mean something to someone, while all you do is shit on the internet. You are scum, and my content's better than yours. Oh well. Let's continue.
Ended off with that triumphant sip. Yeah, that's the outburst that I had alluded to earlier. Like, he really wound himself up so much talking about Street Fighter 6 that he had to lash out like this. He felt like he just had to shit on the trolls. When in reality, this is when he should have showed that emotional regulation. He should have realized that he was working himself up and that he didn't need to lash out and he needed to just chill. But instead, he says this shit and we get to talk about it and we get to laugh at him and we get to know that we're under his skin. And people are gonna keep making fun of the meaningful thing and they're gonna keep driving it home because yes, it obviously bothers him or he wouldn't have mentioned it. What a goober, dude. But that's gonna end it for this video. I swear these Aki streams really fuck DSP's brain all up and we're eating good because of it. Again, shout out to Duty Streams for the upload. Of course, big ups to all of you guys for watching. Really appreciate it as always. Prayer hands for sure. Make sure that you go check out other detractor channels and dive deeper into that snore text.